What's up, everybody? This is Sound Off With Stixx. This is Keith Stixx from Tsunami Cables, and I've got one of our Tsunami artists and a good friend of mine, Woody Garcia, here. Hey, Woody, how's it going, buddy?
Yo, what's up?
So Woody is, I'm going to let him tell him who he is, but he's, at least give you a little brief background on Woody and how we kind of came together. Woody is part of, or the leader of Woody and the Harrelsons.
Yeah.
And, which is like a local, how would you describe it? Like cover band, but you guys do all sorts of shit.
Yeah, we're definitely a cover band, but we like to infuse our own interpretation.
Right.
On some stuff.
Right.
Some stuff we like to do verbatim, but
nice.
Other things we like to make our own.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool, man. So, first of all, Woody, let's go ahead and why don't you give everybody kind of a brief background on you and where you came from and your musical journey up to this point.
All right. Well, I grew up in San Dimas.
Okay.
Not too far from here.
Right.
And was always kind of surrounded by music, family,
cool. Okay.
Older brothers.
Gotcha.
My parents, listening to groovy stuff growing up, going camping,
right.
All the classic rock staples you can think of.
Nice.
So I was very, very into music growing up.
Cool.
My older brother, Bobby, started playing guitar, I think probably around the time that I was born.
Okay.
So there was always guitars around the house.
Right.
And by the age of 13, I was really, really interested.
Nice.
My best friend, Eugene, who actually still plays with Woody and the Harrelsons on occasion.
Nice.
He's in Japan right now, but when he's here, he tries to gig with us when he can.
Very cool.
But he started taking lessons from my older brother.
Oh, okay.
And there was always like this kind of youthful competition in between us being friends. So it was like, what? You're going to take lessons from my brother? I'm going to have to sit here and watch.
Hey, free lessons, right?
Yeah. And, just kind of sponged off of that.
Cool.
And next thing you know, I was just playing.
That's cool.
Right. And it just went from there.
Cool. Were you doing like originals or like cover stuff from the
just
beginning?
like,
or what?
I think what most, teenage aspiring guitar players were doing is just like learning all your favorite stuff. Right. Learning a lot of staples.
Absolutely.
I think, first thing I probably learned was like a Pearl Jam or a Nirvana song.
Right.
First solo I ever learned was, Hotel California.
Right. Okay.
As cliche as it sounds.
Right.
It's still one of my favorites to play, no matter how many times I played it.
Right, exactly. Absolutely.
So yeah, I think by high school I started taking it a little bit more seriously as I stopped taking school as seriously.
Can understand that completely.
And then actually like after high school took a little break and then took a couple years to come back to it.
Okay.
And then once I did, I kind of haven't stopped since.
Right.
Be it original bands.
Right.
And then the last, almost 10 years now, we've been doing Woody and the Harrelsons.
Right.
So we actually had an original band called Virus.
Okay.
And our music was like kind of moody alternative rock.
Okay.
With a myriad of different influences like funk and soul.
Cool.
But also classic rock and psychedelia and a bunch of weird stuff. And
cool shit.
So we weren't really I wasn't focused enough. I wasn't serious enough. And it kind of fell by the wayside. And then once we found out that there was opportunity for us to make money playing other people's music. Right. It was something that we had maybe talked about, but didn't really take pretty seriously. Mm. And then once we started doing it, it was really fun.
Oh, absolutely.
Playing we try to always focus on playing like stuff that we grew up loving or stuff we're passionate about rather than just playing like what everyone wants to hear. Because then the performance is a little different.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
So that's basically what I've been doing the last 9-10 years.
That's cool, man.
Oh, then now we're starting to trying to bring the original music back.
Nice.
So
I look forward to that.
I'm itching. So
yeah.
I'm itching. Like being in a cover band, you only get like so much opportunity to be creative.
Right. Absolutely.
So I miss recording. I miss being in the studio.
Yeah, gotcha. Can understand that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that's cool, man. Well, one of the things that I've always it's always amazing to me, also being in like a cover band and stuff as well, is just how much you work, man. Like it's just crazy. And we were talking about it a little bit earlier, and it's nuts, man. I mean, you know, and I think it's cool because there's so many levels of musicians, right? I mean, there's like you got your weekend warriors, you know, the guys that are just like working the 9 to 5 during the week, and then they're just ground and pounding out on the weekends, you know, and doing their
Which
thing.
is rough.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it. You know, I mean, we've all done it at some point, you know, and so, but, you know, I categorize you in like the working musician category, you know, where it's like, you don't have a day job in that sense. Your day job is music, you know what I mean? And it's fucking rad, you know, it's just so cool that you can do that and you're, you know, gigging and playing 5 days a week, if not more.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Even like today, it's like today's the day off.
Right.
I'm still
You're here.
trying to do something
I'm
related.
bugging you. Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like,
That's great.
it feels good though, to trying
Right.
to just be totally consumed by that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know,
it's awesome, man.
it's easier to focus on it
Right.
when you're not spread thin, trying to do too many things.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And you were saying, as of almost at this point in the year, we're, you know, coming through, shit, what month is it? August, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, coming through almost at the end of August. And you said you're almost to the point of playing as many shows as you had all of last year.
Yeah, I'm like 20 shy
That's crazy.
of like what I did last year, and it's only August.
Yeah, and you said you're at
I'm about a 110.
110 right now.
So,
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's nuts,
and I
man.
did 130 last year.
That's crazy. And you said you have like 50 something like
Yeah,
booked,
there's still 50
like
bucks.
booked for the
And
rest
I'm
of the
trying to
year.
book like another like 15 to 20 on top of that.
That's crazy, man. Well, good for you, man. That's badass.
Thank you.
I think it's great. I totally think it's great.
It's fun. Like,
Right.
It's kind of cool too to see like how far you can push yourself and push the envelope,
Right.
you know, and see like how many shows you can play a year.
Yeah.
And I don't even like, there's people out there that like work so much harder than me and like,
Yeah.
you know, doing 2 or 3 gigs a day.
Right.
You know, if you're in the right, you know, place, the
Yeah.
right demographic, you know, like,
Absolutely.
you know, Vegas or New Orleans or,
Right.
you know, certain places where the demand for live music is so high,
Right.
you can really double dip.
Oh, absolutely.
Temecula Valley.
Yeah.
Wine country.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Exactly. Who would have thought?
I know, right?
So, but and one of the cool things too is you have like a few different versions of your of you, right?
Yeah.
So you have you as a solo artist, like just playing like now on those gigs. Are you playing mostly acoustic? Or are you playing both? Or
I actually injured one of my fingers
oh shit.
like 4 years ago.
Okay.
And ever since, it's kind of been painful to play an acoustic guitar.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just from the strings being thicker and
Right.
the action being a little higher.
Right.
So I've been primarily playing just electric.
Okay.
Even
Cool.
on like solo and little duo gigs.
Right.
And I just use a really tiny rig.
Right.
And it's like 6 watts. But sounds like huge when it wants to.
Right.
You know, and also keeps me from breaking my back every night.
Right.
So-
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, there's the solo thing,
Right.
and then I play in a duo called Faye and the Fella
Right.
with April Dalmacia,
Which is cool.
who shares vocal duties with
Right.
me, and then also plays guitar and also plays percussion on her guitar.
Nice.
And we're both looping, and so we try to do something a little different in our
Yeah.
duo project.
Yeah. It's
And then I also play like duos with like the homies on cajones and stuff too.
Right. So
You know, and then there's the different versions of Woody and the Harrelsons, the trio, the
Right.
quartet, the quintet.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Yeah.
whoever we can round up.
Yeah, exactly. But it's cool because so many there's that lends yourself to being open to so many gigs. You know what I mean? Which is
Yeah.
cool because you get like, you know, a Wednesday night pizza parlor that wants just some live music in the background, and you're like, cool, just me. I'll go and handle it. And then you've got the Saturday night club bar scene or whatever where you
Yeah.
need a full 5-piece band and a bunch of stuff. Full rig, that's badass. You can do all that.
Yeah,
and everything in
it's
between.
been pretty convenient. Like, there was one date next month where the guys in the Harrelsons, like, they also play in an original reggae band called the Brethren,
Okay.
and they're just getting their original music out there
Okay.
into the world.
Gotcha.
And so they're going to start getting busy.
Right.
So as they get busier, it's going to lend me more time to do more solo and duo stuff and little stuff, or rally some of my other friends to do stuff.
Right.
So like I've got like a sushi bar gig
Uh-huh.
on a night where they got a gig, and it just like happened to work out that way.
Absolutely.
So it's like, so yeah, I'll work wherever.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, I understand.
You know,
that.
as long as
Absolutely.
the vibe's right.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Absolutely. And the money's not horrible.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
good.
for sure. Yeah, I'm hoping they're gonna feed me.
Yeah. Right.
So,
Yeah. That'd be great.
So yeah.
That's always a bonus.
Yeah,
You're
comp,
getting paid.
comp sushi
and then-
is
yeah.
a rarity.
That would be.
I've
different.
had plenty of like pizzas
Yeah.
and
Right.
chicken wings and other,
Right.
you know, burgers and stuff. You
Right.
know, like, but I'll take some comp sushi.
Yeah, man, that's rad. Absolutely, that's killer, man. Very cool. So you've got not only in the different versions of the band, but you have such a variety of like different versions of rigs and setup.
Yeah.
Like you've got what, like at least 3, like right, at least that are.
I have like two.
Okay.
Well, the small rig is now kind of growing.
Right.
I guess so. Since you did my small pedal board,
Right.
since you wired it up for me, and now it's in stereo.
Yep.
My little tiny rig has now doubled in size because I have like basically 2 like almost identical
Right.
tiny amps
Right.
that I'll run in stereo. I actually, one of my amps was in the shop recently, so
Okay.
I had to use my little rig for some bigger gigs.
Nice.
So I actually used the stereo rig, and it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
So just mic'd it up. pretty
Right,
well,
right.
You know, and
That's
it
cool.
was awesome.
Yeah, that's badass, man. That's cool. And then you have the big rig.
Yeah, the
Which
big
is
rig.
and like the pedal board's insane. It's like
Yeah, the pedal board.
it's the size of a guitar case, and
it's
not like
heavy.
not a
It's
small
like
guitar
the-
case.
It's like it feels like like the weight of like 4 guitars.
Right? Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, it's backbreaking. It's heavier than my amp now. I seriously think it's heavier than my
That's
amp.
crazy.
That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, that is pretty.
So, and then here I am asking you like 20 minutes ago, I need some more patch cables for my
Right.
big board
Yeah.
because I'm going to do that in stereo now too.
Right? Yeah, it just
So,
keeps growing.
It keeps growing.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is really cool. Awesome, man. Well, let's get to a couple of these questions. Let's
Yeah.
see here. What was the first guitar, and when did you get it?
First guitar I ever owned myself, that was
Yeah.
mine,
That was yours.
was a blue Korean Squire Strat
Okay.
that my parents got for me at Guitar Center for my 8th grade graduation.
Nice.
And I still have it.
Cool.
I actually just got it fixed.
Okay.
And so I haven't used it since I got it fixed, like at a gig, but it's definitely got a lot of sentimental value because it was my first guitar.
Absolutely.
Back in my punk rock days, I used to throw that guitar around a lot. So it had a lot of dings.
Oh, I
And a
bet.
buddy of mine like reliced it a little bit for me, like
Oh, cool. Okay.
like smoothed it all out,
Right.
so it looked a little bit more natural and
Right.
wasn't like these giant gouges that were gonna like cut my arms open, like
Right.
you know, as I'm doing like Pete Townsend moves.
Yeah,
Pete
right.
Townsend windmills, you know, like so I'll cut my arm off.
Yeah. That'd be bad.
So
Okay.
yeah, that was the first one.
Very cool. All right. So let's see. What guitar would you save if the building was burning down? So the building's burning down. You got to run in and grab
That's
one guitar. What are
tough.
you grabbing?
Most of my guitars are actually like not that old, so they're fairly replaceable.
Okay.
There's one in particular that a friend of mine sold me from a collection
Oh wow.
that's kind of personal. So that would be the one I'd probably save. It's
Okay.
It's an mid 80s prototype Fender Japanese Strat.
Wow. Okay.
It's like red. It's like flamed maple top,
Cool.
flame maple neck. It's actually really beautiful.
Nice.
So
Sounds
I
gorgeous.
think I gigged with it once, but I'm too afraid of something happening to it that
Can
I'm
understand
just
that.
like gonna kind of like use it at home for recording.
Right. That's cool. And it sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
It feels
badass.
amazing.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
Which is the best.
So, I just did a photo shoot with it the other day, actually.
Oh, nice.
And took like some pretty cool pictures, and yeah, it's a real pretty guitar.
That's cool, man. So, what was the worst thing that happened to you on stage?
I've fallen on stage a bunch of times. That's painful when you're a big guy like me. I've fallen off the stage. But I still don't think that was the worst. Probably like taking like an elbow to the face or something, maybe. You know,
Nice,
like,
okay.
During a gig.
Back in like the punk rock days,
Yeah,
or was this
back
like
in-
last
yeah,
week?
No, probably back in the punk rock days.
Okay.
Oh, well, okay. It wasn't the worst thing that ever happened to me, but it was like one of the more painful. But it was funny though too.
It's always good.
I was playing this place by where I live in Chino Hills called Roscoe's.
Okay.
It's like it's not the chicken and waffles place. It's like a deli and like a bar restaurant, and we were in the middle of playing one of our songs, an original song actually. This was a Woody and the Harrelsons gig, and right in front of the kick drum we had one of those like briefcase guitar cases, like guitar stands.
Oh yeah,
You
okay.
know, with a couple guitars on it.
Right.
And I just fell right into it.
With guitars in it and everything?
With guitars in it and everything. I was like rocking out too hard. And I fell and I'm like on my back and I'm like still got my guitar on and I'm like, well, I'm just going to keep playing the song. So I just like kind of laid there and played the song and then I realized, oh yeah, I got to sing in a second. So I better get my fat ass up and on this microphone. So then I'm wearing like my in-ears and stuff and I got my cables on. I'm not using wireless or nothing. And I'm like trying to get up and I'm just this tangled mess, you know, and like my buddy Eugene like just stopped playing guitar and like was just like trying to untangle me. And I made it to the microphone like right in the time like that I had to sing. And then like a bunch of my friends who like were working there and stuff, they didn't even notice that I fell and I was just like dying laughing, dude. Barely singing. You know. So,
That's great. That is awesome.
yeah,
That's really good.
It was not too bad, I guess.
Yeah. But it's
funny.
good. It's funny.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, that's great.
It's usually the injuries that aren't too bad that are like kind of funny.
Right, yeah, you can laugh it off.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is great, man. That's too funny.
It's scary being a big dude though. Like I'm like top heavy. I used to like when I was like drinking more, like I used to I would mix Red Bull and tequila.
Nice.
Like
Yeah.
at my gigs that were like close to home because I
Yeah.
could just like have someone take me or whatever.
Right.
So I would be singing and I'd be like standing on the tables and stuff and my mom's like in the audience and she's like, "You're gonna hurt yourself, get down." And I'm like, "I don't care, I'm in the middle of a show."
I'm a rock star, damn it.
Yeah, I think I'm a rock star because I'm drunk right now.
Right.
You know? So I then you know like came to the realization that alcohol and singing don't really mix.
Yeah.
So now I don't drink at all when I sing.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, that's not a bad.
I think I sound better, but
with alcohol or without?
yeah, well, yeah, of course, because you're drinking.
drunk,
You
yeah.
think you sound better,
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
but
yeah.
then you watch the playback and you're just like,
You're like, maybe not.
that is awful.
Yeah.
What was I thinking? You know,
That is so great.
one of those. Yeah.
Well, that story kind of could lead into this next question. So, what advice would you give the younger self? What advice would you give your younger self if you had the chance?
Practice more.
Yeah. Okay.
Practice more.
I was gonna say don't drink and sing, but
That would
Practice
that would
more.
be a good lesson, but
Okay.
but practice more.
so do you?
Spend less time trying to sound like everyone else and try to find how to sound like yourself.
Okay, that's cool. That's
That
good.
was what I'd probably tell my younger self, because it took me a long time to kind of
Yeah.
realize that.
Right. I think.
I mean, we all have influences.
Of course.
Things that we aspire to.
Right.
Like I'm a tone nerd now.
Right.
I wasn't. I
Yeah.
used to not care.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Well, and I think a lot of that too comes with age. You know what I mean? It does. It comes with experience and age, and just I mean, when you're again, whenever you're in high school, you're not thinking about how great your tone is. And
Well, there's the thing
all
about
the
being like
gear
a poor kid too, and not
Right.
really like being able to afford like the
That
gear
too.
you want.
Yeah.
And like now I'm like almost 40, and it's like,
Right.
whoa, I actually like own like some of my dream gear. Like,
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
like that guitar that I used to like see at the very top shelf at Guitar Center.
Right.
That was like almost $2,000 or whatever.
Right.
I'm like, man, I want one of those one day.
Yeah.
I'll never be able to afford that.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like now, it's like I have one and I'm like trying to sell it.
Yeah.
You know? It's like,
Right. Yeah.
what
Because
the
you're
hell?
like, I can get two
I want
guitars.
something better, you
Yeah,
know,
or whatever.
like-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, I can
I
understand
can
that.
sell this one and that'll pay for half of the next one.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
oh
Absolutely.
God.
All right. Let's see. This next one. What's your favorite tsunami cable story?
My favorite tsunami cable story. Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely obsessed with the Pink Wankers. So
Yeah.
as soon as
Yeah, you definitely have.
as soon
quite a
as, soon
few
as
of
I
them.
saw that was like a thing,
A thing.
you know, and it wasn't, you know, that there was multiple people that like
Yeah.
that they were like into the pink cables. So I was
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, I like that.
It's so funny, man, because like the pink cable thing, I've sold by far way more pink cables to dudes than I have women,
Oh, I'm
you
sure.
know. And it's funny because there's no middle ground with it. Like I haven't found anybody that's like, yeah, it's cool, whatever. No, it's like one or the other. It's either like I have to have those or I will never own them. You know what I mean? Like it's one or
Yeah,
the other.
like I'm looking at them on the floor right now.
Right.
And I just love them.
Yeah.
They just look rad. And
Yeah.
like, all my cable wraps are pink now. My fret wraps pink. My picks are pink.
It's great.
You know.
Yeah, you've
it's
got it all
spreading.
out.
Spreading.
It's spreading. Yeah, the pink
Pink
wanker
virus.
virus. We might need to make that a shirt.
Yeah,
That, that might be a
some
thing.
crazy like person with nothing but pink.
Right.
Like pink everything.
Yeah.
Like,
The
It's
pink wanker
spreading.
virus. Yeah, I love it.
Serious.
That is great. That is really good. Well, so I got some other questions for you, but before we get to that, what are some new things that you got coming up? What's some stuff coming up for Woody?
More and more shows.
Yeah.
We got a special show coming up September 1st at Public House in
Okay.
Temecula and Old Town,
Cool.
where we're our original drummer, our Anthony Raya, the first Woody and the Harrelsons drummer.
Okay.
He's going to be in town from Vegas.
Oh, cool.
So, and since he's going to be here, we're going to take advantage. We're going to play some of our old, like, original material.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So-
Very cool.
Yeah. I'm actually trying to, like, take some of that stuff and, like, revamp it. And then
Nice.
ever since I got the stereo rig going, I've been, like, just kind of, like, riffing out at home and feeling, like, inspired.
Nice.
You know, not necessarily having all the time in the world to
Right.
like, you know, see where that goes, I guess.
Right.
But I can feel it. You
Starting
know,
to flesh
like,
it out a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that creative itch is definitely there. So
Very cool.
so in addition to reworking like old stuff, I definitely like want to work on new stuff too.
Very cool.
It's weird though, like, because my musical tastes are all over the place, so I'm like having a hard time like deciding what I want to do or what I want to focus on.
Gotcha.
Like, there's this real like desire to like work on like some soul and R&B and like some funky stuff,
Cool.
and then I plug in my guitar, and I just start riffing up the most evil sounding like dark like stuff, and I'm just like, where is this? I'm like so laid back and like I'm like the happiest
So
I've
chill,
ever been.
yeah.
Like, you know, like life's pretty stress free. You know,
Right,
like I don't
right.
have to set an alarm every day. I
Right.
work nights.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm working for myself and for the band.
Right.
So, yeah, like my worst like problem is like, okay, which drummer am I using next week? You know, like,
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Scheduling,
exactly.
I
Yeah.
guess, you know.
Right.
So it's weird though, like when in my playing, like I'm just like coming up with this dark stuff, because like you don't want to like suppress it.
Right. Yeah.
You
Exactly.
know, like
yeah.
you should probably get it out.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah. Absolutely.
so yeah, so that's, I definitely like want to start working on a couple different things.
That's cool,
you
man.
know?
That's very.
Because it's tough, because like I would love to like incorporate like original music into like all the constant gigging, but
Right.
with the constant like lineup changes and scheduling and stuff, it's like it's kind of like too much to ask.
Yeah. It makes
You
it
know,
difficult.
the
Absolutely.
dudes.
Yeah.
You know, once in a while when we got our core guys, then it's like
Right.
it's not as much of an effort as it is.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I can
to like
understand
teach a bunch of people a bunch of material they don't know.
that. Right, yeah, oh, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's why I like the aspect, like the thought of like recording and stuff sounds fun.
Right.
You know, because it's
totally
something I
understand
can do at home.
Yeah, oh,
You know,
absolutely.
on my time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, that's cool, man. So where's a good place for people to find you?
WoodyandTheHarrelsons.com.
Nice, okay,
It
very
has
cool.
like all our videos. It has, you know, who plays with us, all our dates.
Very cool.
Some pictures, videos.
Killer.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, man.
Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff.
Right, yeah, all the normal social media
Yeah, the
shit.
links are on there. and
Yeah,
stuff, you
I
know.
figured. Okay, very cool, man.
Google us.
Googly.
Yeah.
All right.
Most of the time, it's always like at Woody and the Harrelsons, all spelled out.
Right.
And then
I
I'm
gotcha.
always usually at Wood Snacks.
Wood Snacks, yeah.
Wood Snacks.
Love it. That's great. Awesome, man. Well, I've got a handful of questions left for you.
Cool.
Kind of, what comes to your head first, like when these things happen? Like what, first word, the kind of first thing that pops in your head.
Okay, don't think about it too much.
Yeah, don't think about it. Yeah, just
Okay.
right off the top of your head. So, what is your favorite word?
Favorite word? Oh my god. I don't know.
Well, it's one that you use a lot.
We always say shaka, like all the time. It's just
Okay.
like that whole like silly, like I guess like surfer vibe thing. Or
Surfer
whatever.
bro
I think
thing?
that's like
Yeah.
a California thing. Or
It is.
whatever.
Totally.
You know, I think there's like a
Yeah.
shaka emoji or whatever. Like,
The
so
hang
that's
loose
like, yeah, we say word a lot.
word.
There's like a lot of slanglish that
Yeah.
like gets thrown around. You
It's
know?
English. I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
I have like a handful of like random like hashtags I try to use on like all like stuff relating to the band. So
Yeah.
if I just like look at that hashtag, it's like this crazy variety of stuff. Like we always use tasty jams.
Tasty jams. That's a
Tasty
good one.
jams is
Tasty
like,
jams.
you know. And then that's just an interesting like hashtag to kind of look at anyway, like if you're on Instagram or something.
Right.
Because sometimes it's music and sometimes it's just like all kinds of random like tasty jams and jellies.
Right,
From,
yeah.
like some organic
Marmalade,
marmalade or
yeah.
something. Yeah. It's just all orange marmalade.
Yeah.
Hashtag tasty jams. You know, like.
That's so great.
And then there's like
So
a picture of us, like,
Yeah.
playing Rage Against the Machine
Yeah.
or something.
Who the hell are these guys?
Yeah, like.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's
like
really
a bunch of
good.
derelicts.
Yeah.
You know?
I love it. Okay. So the inverse to that, what's your least favorite word?
My least favorite word. No.
No. That's a good one.
No. God, least favorite word. I don't even really know.
Okay.
I don't know if I have one.
Yeah. I mean, no's a good one.
Yeah.
No sucks. I don't like being told
I
no.
don't like being told no.
Yeah. That
But
works.
it's necessary.
It is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No means no.
Yeah, no means no. You know.
All right. What sound or noise do you love?
Sound or noise do I love? Earlier, I was holding our new cat,
Okay.
and he's just like a little, tiny little
Fluff
baby
ball.
kitten named Ziggy,
Nice.
and Kitty Stardust. And he just like loves to like just like put his head like under my neck and stuff, and like I don't know that cat purr.
Purr. Yeah.
You know, it's just like that little motor running.
That's cool.
I'm a big animal lover, dude. So
Yeah.
like, that stuff like warms my heart.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know.
I'm with you there.
Or like our dog, you know, like when the dog's like happy, she
Yeah.
like makes this little like happy grunt, you know.
Right,
and,
right,
like,
Yeah.
I like those.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm a total, I'm a big dog person too.
Yeah.
I've never been a big cat person, and then we have so many cats in our neighborhood. Like I won't let them come in the house, but like my daughters will like start feeding them outside the house and shit. You know, now all of a sudden like we have like 10 cats or whatever that are all over the place.
I've had hundreds of cats over my lifetime.
Yeah, it's crazy. And and like we had a couple that were like older cats, so like they weren't nearly as fun or cool to play with or anything like that. But then we just recently there's one that's been coming by a lot, that's like a younger cat. You know, you can just tell like it's not like kitten, but it's adolescence, right? And yeah, it's fun, man. The cat's fucking cool. I'm not a big cat person, but I dig. I can dig that cat.
I haven't had a cat in a long time.
Okay.
And, like we've just had dogs.
Right.
And like, yeah, this cat's dope.
Yeah.
He's fun.
It's weird, man. Personalities of animals is crazy.
Oh yeah.
It's a trip. I got an English bulldog, and she's such a bitch. I love her to death, man, but she's such a bitch. Like anybody that comes to the house, she's all over. She doesn't like them, and she's and she's
Guard
just
dog.
snappy. Yeah, I mean she's good. It's good. It's good. But she's snaps at people.
Their
and
whole
she's,
territorial thing is trippy.
Yeah.
Because they really want to protect you.
Yeah.
Like, that's their goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a trip.
Yeah, it's crazy. And but yeah, man, and she's older now, and she's getting towards the end. You can kind of tell, and which is sad because I've had her since she was a pup. You know what I mean? And so I had her since she was like 7 weeks old.
Oh
you know what I
wow.
mean? Yeah. So so it's sad, but man, but it's fun though. Every morning like I wake up and she sleeps like in the room with us, and like I turn the light on and she gives me this look like, really, like it's fucking 6 in the morning. Why the fuck are you waking up? You know what I mean? Like she just gives me that look. And she's an English bulldog, so they sleep like 20 hours of the day.
That's the opposite of our dog.
Oh yeah.
It's a little Jack Russell Chihuahua. And at
Nice.
like 6 a.m. she's just like waking my ass up like, bitch, put me outside like now.
Right.
Like, or I'm gonna whine until you do it.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
So
Just
succumb
do
to
it.
me now.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
They're the boss.
Oh, they totally are. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I do have a B answer for that last question, though.
Okay.
And that's the sound of a damn really good tube amp.
Yeah.
Like just standing in front of it.
Yeah.
And feeling that.
Oh, yeah.
That's one sound that's irreplaceable.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And there is such a difference between tube and solid state, man. I mean, there's
I've heard plenty of solid state amps sound good.
oh yeah, I'm not saying they don't sound good. It's just there's such a difference in just body. You know what I mean? Like tube amps just have so much body to them.
I was watching this interview with Rene Martinez, who was, now he's John Mayer's guitar tech, but he was Steve Ray Vaughan's guitar tech.
Right.
And he was saying that like by the end, like of Stevie's career, that like he was using so many amps like on stage because he wanted to feel like the wind like between his legs when he was playing standing in front of his amps.
Jesus.
Like literally wanted to feel that.
Yeah.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's crazy. Yeah, there's nothing like it. And I mean, being a drummer, it's a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like we hear things slightly different, or like feel, I guess, or whatever. But yeah, man, it's like whenever there's a full Marshall stack behind me or by me, and you got 2 amps fucking just ripping, like there's no better feeling than that. You know what I mean? Like it's killer.
It's fun to be loud.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's not always appropriate.
Right.
But it's fun to be loud.
Oh, it's fun. You gotta do it every once in a while.
Yeah,
You gotta put that bitch to 11 and see what happens. All right. What is? Let's see. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt? Making you think.
Well, I think like early on, like I've been in it like an accountant and an IT guy, and I've like done like just every corporate job you can like probably imagine.
Right.
I think I would enjoy being an engineer because I like to tinker with stuff sometimes. You know, like I don't know if I'd be able to, if I could do it.
Right.
You know?
I got you.
But I don't know, like now that I'm a little older and stuff, I think I would probably want to be a farmer.
Yeah.
Like on a small scale. On like a really small scale. But like, so in January moved into this new spot that my buddy owns.
Okay.
And in our yard there are these 2 giant avocado trees.
Oh, nice.
And there's like hundreds of avocados. It's
Dude.
insane. And there's something therapeutic about picking fruit from a tree.
Yeah.
That like, I don't know what it is. I don't know
Some
if I was
primal.
like some like
Primal instinct.
like farm worker in a past life or something, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
that's cool.
I don't know. I would like really enjoy living in isolation and like growing veggies or something. That'd be fun.
It's weird, man. I wonder if there's some kind of odd correlation between this, but there's a lot of musicians that are that way. A lot of musicians. Like I've noticed. I mean, I feel that way. I would be totally down to like sell everything and get a cabin in the woods and just be like, fuck it all and just go for it, man. Absolutely. I would be so down for that. And I know so many guys that are that same way. So many musicians. I wonder if it's like the pace. You know what I mean? Like the brain, like the musician, like artist type brain, to be like, fuck everybody. I'm gonna go move into a cabin in the woods or away from everybody. You know what I mean? Like
when I'm playing music, like when I'm really in it, like just totally just in it.
Right.
Everything else stops.
Right.
You know.
Totally.
And it's like it's the one moment where like all the static and everything, like all that energy that you just like don't even want to like invest in.
Right.
It all just stops and you're in the moment.
Totally.
It's hard to live life in the moment.
Oh yeah.
Because we need to survive and there's all these stresses with, growing up and
absolutely.
realizing once you're not a kid, like, oh, what, I have to work for a living?
Yeah.
And like,
I gotta pay bills.
do this forever until I die, basically. Like, oh man.
Yeah.
If
I don't pay
like you
for
always
that.
know it, but then
Right.
like, once you're an actual adult and
Yeah.
like, you don't have the resources of like your parents or whatever, and like, you've got to make something of yourself independently, and I don't know. It's just like, I think that whole like wanting to be isolated is just like literally just like turning all that noise off.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. Absolutely.
When I was in like my 20s, I wanted to live in like a big city or something.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to like move to San Francisco or
Right.
something, and just like, because the culture is real dense and like there's so much
Absolutely.
diversity and all this stuff. And now I'm like in my late 30s and I'm like, I want to live in the trees.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You
man.
know, like,
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
want to live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I want to live somewhere where there's no light pollution and I can see stars every night.
Yeah. Man, it was a trip a couple years ago. My wife and my kids and I took a trip to Flagstaff, to Arizona. And it's like that place is like world renowned for the least amount of light pollution like in the world. Like it's crazy, right? And so and plus like the elevation and everything like has a lot to do with it and all that kind of shit. But dude, it's stupid. It's just so stupid. Like it's like middle of the night.
Isn't it really green there?
Yeah, it is. It's very green.
It's
Yeah,
like,
and when we went, it was we went like right around Christmas time, so there was snow like on the ground and ice and shit like that. So it was cool. It was really pretty, especially being from Southern California, man. We don't. I mean, unless you're going to like the mountains to go snowboarding or some shit, like you don't experience that, And
it's not like our mountains get snow anymore anyway.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And it's totally different, man. It's such a different like atmosphere, but it was just such a trip, man. It'd be like 1, 2 in the morning, and like you'd walk out and it wasn't dark. Like that was what was weird about it. Like it's dark, right? There's no sun out, but because of all the stars and everything that's out there, like you can it's just weird. It's a weird feeling. It's just but it's really fucking cool.
Or even just moonlight.
It's a trip. Yeah, that's really what it is. It's the moonlight and all the stars and everything else, but it's just so it's rad, man. So cool.
Yeah.
It was like such a trip to be out there. It's like holy shit.
You lose touch with that a
Big
little
time.
bit, like being in suburbia and like being
absolutely.
in like a major metropolitan area.
Absolutely, yeah. It tripped my kids out. My kids were freaking out. They were just, they couldn't believe it. They're like, I can't believe there's that many stars and I can actually see them, and all that kind of stuff. It's like, well, yeah, it's because we live like, close to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
There's like 2 billion people
lit
there,
up,
whatever the hell, So yeah, it's absolutely fucking crazy, man.
For sure.
It's really crazy. All right, one of my last question here. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
If you weren't too much of an asshole.
I love it. That's great, man. That is awesome. That's great, man.
Maybe just half the time.
Yeah, half the time. That's great. At least, you were not so
That was
much.
probably the fastest answer I had.
That was, out of all of them, yeah. It's like the most obscure one, and you nailed the hell out of it. Yeah, absolutely. That's great. But, no, man, that was killer. Good shit, man. Good shit. Well, thank you so much for being here on the podcast, man. I really do appreciate it. Absolutely. We got a bunch of videos we're going to be doing here in a minute, and doing rig rundowns, all sorts of stuff. All sorts of crazy.
Talk more about all my gear.
All sorts of crazy shit. So, thank you guys so much. This is podcast number 2 of Sound Off With Stixx. Thanks for checking it out, and we will talk to you guys soon. Peace.